In this video lecture, we'll be building a matrix for multiplication in Java program. Okay, so in the previous lecture, we have looked at addition, and we've looked at subtraction, and we've looked at 2x2 matrix and 3x3 matrix. So in this multiplication, we'll be looking at 4x4 matrix so that we can always improve in what we are doing. But they are just exactly the same thing. You can go ahead and skip it and do that on your own. But if you think you want to follow me along, then let's move on and create a 4x4 matrix in matrix multiplication. So first of all, go ahead and import java.io. Then inside the class, you go ahead and create public static void main, and this takes string x. So then you go ahead and put a buffered reader, br is equal to new buffered reader, and this takes an argument of new input stream reader. Okay, and this is system.in. So go ahead and put a semicolon at the end, and that is okay. So now let's go ahead and initialize this. So initialize num1 equal to new int 4x4 and int num2 new int 4x4 plus semicolon at the end, and int num3 is equal to new int 4x4. So put a semicolon at the end and go ahead and initialize int x and y. Put a semicolon, and let's request for the first matrix from the user. So using system.out.println, system.out.println, go ahead and request that. So we're going to say please enter first matrix. So enter first matrix, and you use for loop to iterate that. So for x equal to 0, press semicolon, and x less than 4, press semicolon, and x increment. Okay, so you go ahead and do that for y. Say for y equal to 0 and y less than 4, press semicolon, and y increment. So inside here, you go ahead and accept that from user. Let's say num1 for x and for y is equal to, pass this to integer. So integer dot pass int bl dot readline. So put a semicolon at the end of this, and go ahead. I'll shift this a little bit. So let's go ahead and throw declarations, and that is okay. All right, so now we've done this, we need to break out of this loop. So go over here and you break out of the loop and check for the length of the matrix. So for x equal to 0, put a semicolon, and x, no, for x equal to 0 and the x less than num1 dot length, put a semicolon, and x increment. Okay, go ahead and for y equals to 0, so put a semicolon, and y less than 2. We are doing this for 4 by 4 matrix. For y less than 4, put a semicolon, and y increment. So inside here, you go ahead and print out the result of the first matrix, and that says system dot out dot system dot out dot print. So you give a space and you concatenate this with the results you've gotten from the user, which is num1. Copy this and paste it here. So you've done a very good justice to that. So let's go ahead and add a comment here. Program for Fox matrix. So we'll write another program for the second matrix. So for the second matrix, you go ahead, let's go ahead and give a comment. Program for second matrix. So in order to make it short for us, because we've been on matrix all this while, go ahead and copy this. Copy everything here. And anywhere you see num1, go ahead and change that to num2. Alright? Because we are just expecting exactly the same thing. Okay? So we're expecting exactly the same thing. So, but before then, you come over here and under num1 and say system dot out dot print line. That is okay. So copy this, system dot out dot print line. Copy this, and you come over to this point and paste it as well. So now what we need to do is we only need to change this to num2 and change this to num2 and change this to num2. That is okay. We have no more work, no much work here to do. And request for the second matrix. So request for the second matrix here and not first matrix. So the reason why I copied this and pasted is just very simple. It's just because we've been here and we've worked on matrix. So I believe we've known about matrix so far. Else I would have gone ahead and typed that step by step. So let's go ahead and do some calculation for multiplication of this, and I'll go ahead and say program for multiplication, so we can know what we are doing. This code is really very big, that is why I'm putting this comment here. So go ahead and use a for loop to iterate this. I'm going to say for loop x is equal to 0, put a semicolon, and I'm going to say x is less than 4, put a semicolon, and x increment. Alright, so let's go ahead and drag this down and go ahead and do that same thing for y. So for y equal to 0, put a semicolon, and y less than 4, put a semicolon, and y increment. Alright, so now what we need to do is we go ahead and say num3 let's go ahead and say num3 for us to get the actual results, we need a multiplication factor under this. So let's go ahead, because if we do that, I will tell us the result of this at the end. So go ahead under int and initialize for z, so that z will be a multiplication factor in this matrix. Okay, because without this we are going to get a wrong result. It will still give us a result, but it's going to be a wrong one. But with the multiplication factor, we get the actual result of the matrix multiplication. So num3 for x and for y equal to 0. So put a semicolon and let's go ahead and use the multiplication factor. So use a for loop to trace this. So for z equal to 0, put a semicolon, and z less than 4, put a semicolon, and z increment. So the z is the multiplication factor here. So go ahead and say num3 for x and for y is equal to, go ahead and copy this, is equal to num3 plus, I'll put this in brackets, and I want to say num1 for x and using the z multiplication factor here, so that is num1 x multiply z, that is the multiplication factor, multiply num2, the multiplication factor, z multiply y. So this is how it goes at this point. So this is the result of num3. So go ahead and put semicolon at the end. So we go ahead and write a program for the results here. So we'll break out from this loop. I'm going to say program for results. So the program for the result will go with a for loop. So for x equal to 0, put a semicolon, and x less than 4, put a semicolon, and x increment. So go ahead and do that for y using a for loop. So for y equal to 0, put a semicolon, and y less than 4, put a semicolon, and y increment. Alright, so drag this down. I'm going to say system.out.print. So this, go ahead and put the result of num3, copy this. Then go ahead and say system.out.print line. Okay, I think we've done justice to this. So it's a really very big bunch of code, and I hope you followed me step by step, and be careful of the multiplication factor. Okay, so go ahead and run configuration, and this is a project 20 we've done so far, and click on this and get this multiplication factor, apply this and run this. So this request, please enter first matrix. So go ahead and put, let's use 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So this is 4 by 4 matrix. Okay, so let's say 10 11 12 13. Wow, that should be 13 for me. I just put that to be 4 and 15. So this is 4 by 4 matrix. It's really very big bunch of code. 1 2 3, wow, 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14. Wow. Okay, I didn't give space here so that the results, there will be separation here. You see, everything just joined together. So go ahead and go back to this point under results. Let's go ahead and write out, let's use something and separate them. So system.out dot print line. So inside here I'm going to say the results of your multiplication. Result of your multiplication is, so I think that is okay. And let's go ahead and run this code again so we can be able to get something clear. So 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16. So this is 4 by 4. I will use this to teach us something in case we didn't use multiplication factor for this. So go ahead and put this again. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 and 16. So now over here you can see the result of your multiplication is this. Without a multiplication factor, I'm going to have this to be 1 4 9 16. It's going to multiply this without a multiplication factor, and you will not get the good result. You will have some results printed for you, but they are not actually the exact results you're supposed to have. So always ensure that you use a multiplication factor for this so that you can get the better results. So this is all about multiplication of matrix in Java programming. And if you have any question, go ahead and use the question and answer sections, and I'm going to get back to you as soon as possible. Thank you and see you in the next video lecture.